Hey guys, it's Carl Brown for GuitarLessons365.com. Today we're going to take a look at Mississippi Queen by a Mountain and the great Leslie West. Now this one we're going to take a look at all the riffs, the chords in the song, and the first intro solo you just saw me play, and the solo that kind of goes over the second verse. The main guitar solo I'm going to do in the next lesson. Just some people just want to learn the solo, so I'm just going to give them one video with the main guitar solo. Alright, so let's learn all the riffs here and take a look at this intro solo. Now the opening is pretty much like this. Pretty simple stuff. We're just, we're in standard tuning here, by the way, but the track, the actual recording is just that little bit sharp on the original recording. So when you're playing along in standard tuning on your guitar, it might sound a little strange. Sometimes you might need to tune each string up just a tad bit to match the recording, or just ignore it. Alright, so let's start here. 5-7 on the low E, then a slight bend at the 5th fret on the D string, and then you got some vibrato there on the 7th fret on the A, and slide that down to the open string. So we have this. Then do that again. Alright, and now we have the actual intro solo. So the first phrase of that solo was this. Alright, so we're going to do a whole step bend at the 19th fret on the B string. And then you're going to grab 19 on the high E string. And when you do that, we're going to do that note staccato. So you're going to kill the sound real quick. Then you're going to do a bend at the 19 again, and once again you're going to kill that though. And then pick 19 normal, and then 17 with some vibrato on it. So we have this. So you heard those staccato notes in between there. That's what really gives that lick its feel. So you got to really get those notes nice and short. From there we go to 18-16 on the G. All right, then we're going to go back up, starting with that 16 to 18 on the G. Then 17-19 on the B. When you get that 19, some vibrato, and then back to 17. So all together we have this. All right, next phrase. All right, so kind of more of the same stuff. So we're going to go up again with 16-18 on the G to 17-19, 17 on the G. So from here, we're going to go 17, 19 bend again, 19 on the high E again. This time, you're going to pick the bend that's already there, and then pick the normal 19, and then 17. So we have this. Then over to 18 on the G, back to 17. You're going to do a quick pull off from 20 to 17. And then you can pick that 17 again and just slide it down. All right, so I'll play through that solo once again, kind of slow for you. Here we go. All right, so that's when the verse comes in, and that full verse riff, it kind of bleeds over. The end of that solo was over the beginning of the riff, but I'll play the whole riff for you here. Here we go. All right, so that's basically, this is really a blues progression, and this is over the 1 chord here. So we're gonna start here. The sliding from a power chord from the 5th fret on the A string, so it's 5 on the A, 7 on the D and the G. Hit it and slide up 2 frets. Then you're gonna strum that chord while adding the low E string in there. And then slide it back pretty much to nothing. All right, and then from there we're gonna play the open E string and the 7th fret on the A string together 3 times. And then the 5th fret there with a slight bend on the A string, then back to the 7th. So we have this. A little bend or some vibrato on that 5. And then back to the slide. And this time we have a different ending. So we have the open E, pull off 3 to 0 on the low E, and then grab the 2nd fret on the D string. Now when you're doing this pull off, you're kind of pulling that low E string down. It might get a little quarter step bend in there. And then when he's coming back up to repeat, he'll hit the bottom 3 strings open there. So we have this all together. Repeat. All right, now we take it to the 4 chord in the progression, which will sound like this. All right, so that's pretty much the same thing. We're going to now be sliding from the power chord built off the 3rd fret of the low E string. 3rd fret there, the low E, 5 on the A and the D. Pick that, slide up 2 frets. And then we're going to come up and do the same thing we did here on the bottom 2 strings, except we're going to do it on the 5th and 4th string now. So that's their open A string underneath it. Back to that riff again. And then, now that was the same riff that we did earlier, but once again, everything 1 string lower. So, and then you hit open strings again. We're going to go back to that main riff. And that is the same. So that was the same as before. And now we go to the 5 chord. So we went 1 to 4, back to 1, and now to the 5 chord. And it's just basic blues like this. All right, so from there, same little power chord slide thing. This time you're starting at the 5th fret on the low E string power chord. Slide it up 2 frets. And from there, you're going to hit the power chord again. And then the 4th fret there, which is the 9. 9 on the A, 7 on the D. So it's already part of the chord. And then you can play 9 on the D string and pull off real quick to the open D. And then we're back here to the A version of it, or the 4 chord. You're going to do that slide into the 5th fret, and then now that's that open A string with the 7th fret there on the D. And then when you get here to the 5th fret on the D string by itself, slow bend into that low E power chord. Just the open 6th string with the 2nd fret on the A and the D string. All right, and then after a little bit of space here. All right, now for the 2nd verse, we have the same riff that we just learned, same series of riffs, which goes from the 1 chord to the 4, back to the 1 and to the 5. Now, this time though, there's a guitar solo that goes on over it, or a series of fills. Now, the first series of fills sounds like this. All right, pretty simple stuff. We're going to be doing a bend here at the 7th fret on the B string. And then, as you're doing that whole step bend, you're going to grab the 7th fret on the high E. Then pick the 7 on the B again, release that bend down to the 5th fret. So you do that again. Now the third time you're going to go, is pretty much going between a whole step and then down to a half step off that 7th fret on the B. Then back to the 5. So it's just kind of doing some bends at different points on the 7th fret and then still resolves down to the 5th fret on the B. And then the 4th time through, the same as the first 2. Alright, from there we have this. Alright, so that is the 10th fret bend at a whole step on the B string twice. Then, and that's just 12-10 on the high E, and then a pre-bend there at the 10th fret on the B string, whole step, then bring it down, and then we're going to 8th fret on the B and to the 9th on the G. Alright, now from there we have this. Alright, so this is pretty simple, just basic blues. A couple of bends at the 15th fret on the B string, whole step bends, hold it, and then release, and pull off to the 12. And then into the 15th fret bend on the high E string, then 15, 12, over to 15 on the B. So we have this. Alright, now to end this little solo that goes over the verse, you have this. Alright, more basic blues stuff, nothing too difficult. Whole step bend there at the 15th fret. Release, 12 on the B, and then you're going to do 2 bends at the 14 on the G string. Alright, then grab 15 on the B, and then another bend at the 14, and then 14 normal to the 12. And then you're back to the same little kind of little section that comes in right before the main guitar solo, which we're going to take a look at in the next lesson.